Hello and welcome to the Comic-Spiracy, episode 369 for the week of September 25th, 2018. My name is Ryan Higgins. I'm back, baby. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Hey, it's Brock. Little two-man cast this week. It's all good.
Two-man cast.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. First of all, apologize for the...
Why are you apologizing?
Crazy.
They got a .75 and a dark conspiracy.
Craziness of the last few weeks. For those that don't follow me on social media, I've had a hell of an ongoing problem with my back, which led to a complete back spasm last week and
fetal position, baby crying,
multiple trips to the ER. Multiple trips to the urgent care, and then a trip to the ER. That was the big one, and that was I was like, I am taking some time off. Mm-hmm. I get all the good drugs. I told you, just all
watch
those,
out for that shit. I will beat you up.
All those opioids. They don't give you enough to get you addicted these days, fortunately. But it didn't affect me. I mean, I got a little sleepy the first day, but it didn't go crazy. I haven't sold the store for drugs yet, so I'm not too addicted.
I will beat the crap out of you.
It's
sorry.
Just very, very, very bad last week from me personally. So if you're an aging nerd, watch your back.
Digital, baby.
Those long boxes get heavy.
Get through Comics Conspiracy's digital storefront.
Don't sit on the computer for 18 hours a day and not stretch and walk around properly. When you're recline well. Mm-hmm. We're not invincible 20-year-olds anymore.
Nope.
Bad times. So, Brock, thank you. You guys did a broadcast .75 last week with Scott, and I'm sorry with Josh with our best podcast guest Josh. Someone on the Facebook group was like, oh, it was Brock, Kevin, and Josh, and I turned it off, and I'm like, good old Josh. I love Josh. Scott
it's like
and
Vanisher, right?
Scott and Kevin, you guys filled in, and then apparently, for some reason, Toby was at Charlie's house and decided they were going to record a podcast, and and Lane was going to come over, and Nadia was there, and then they contacted Kevin and Scott and said, "Hey, we're just going to record. Do you want to come over and record?" So they recorded,
Bryce was on
till like midnight, and then they called Bryce on the phone and just had Bryce on their iPhone on two mics. So the last week's normal episode does not exist. There wasn't one. Brock's episode is up in the feed now. It went up Friday. So if you're hearing this episode, there's another episode. But wait, Dark Conspiracy 2, that's what Toby calls his not recorded in store, not .5. How many spinoffs do we have at this point? It's the stupidest thing.
I went with .75 because I didn't want a long-ass title of all new, all different.
Yeah.
Comics Conspiracy
Rebirth.
Or Rebirth or whatever.
So not only is the .75 episode up, not only is this episode up, the Dark Conspiracy's up. So Comic Conspiracy After Dark, that's Toby's.
Is it Dark Conspiracy or After Dark?
It's Dark Conspiracy, but it's also After Dark.
If you make it After Dark, it sounds like something from Skinamax.
We're all After Dark because we record late. Anyway, sorry there wasn't one podcast, but now there's 3. So hopefully you get some level of enjoyment out of those. So thank you. Or I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say. I didn't mean to say thank you.
Well,
thank you for listening to this podcast.
Apparently Josh just kills our ratings. I mean, we need to get rid of that guy.
Josh is a good guy, man. I like Josh. Anyway, we have 80 billion things to talk about. One thing we are going to talk about at the end of the podcast, which will be it
has to be a full spoiler.
It's a full spoiler, but I want to... whatever. Let's talk about it. We are going to talk about Heroes in Crisis #1.
Mm-hmm.
That comes out on Wednesday. So I suggest you fast forward or skip that part of the podcast if you don't want to hear about Heroes in Crisis. It will be after the credits. It'll be well later in the episode. You will be very fully warned with spoilers, so don't worry. We're not going to spoil anything just out of the blue right now. But we are going to talk about that briefly. So we'll get to that.
By briefly, we mean briefly, not a Bryce briefly.
Correct. Actually, briefly. I would like to get home at some point. This is my first Tuesday back.
And it was huge.
Tuesday's new
I thought
release.
last week was big. Holy shit.
Tuesday's the day we received new product, and I'm glad I took that week off work because it was going to be rough. I'm feeling much better, far from perfect, but no worse than I was prior to all this starting. I just need to
take it easier.
Move slightly. Well, me and Ryan Scott had a big talk about this on the Geekbox last night, and one of the things I said was, one of my problems I find is, well, there's a project, I just want to finish it, and then I rest when it's done.
Yeah.
I need to rest during as well, and I don't
take
do
a cue
that.
From me, you always get pissed off at me that I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he getting...
Not.
And I'm like, I do it partially because I'm like, all right, I need to take a minute.
Like there's Teamsters where you're like, yep, been 2 minutes, sorry, 25-minute break.
I'm not that bad.
But there is like, you do have to... I see 100 boxes. I'm like, I'm going to move those 100 boxes, and then I'm done, and then I can rest. Move 25, take 5. Move 25, take 5. Yep. I have to, because that's what happened is I just worked myself too hard and pushed too hard.
Whenever I move boxes for our sales and stuff like that, I load the truck and then I stop.
Yeah.
I don't just hop in the truck and go. I take a minute,
I hate having stuff unfinished. I hate sitting there with a stack of stuff, and I'm like, but I have to. I have to. Otherwise, I'm going to have this just happen over and over and over again. So, then what are we talking about? Big week of books.
Yeah, big week of books last week, but this week was even bigger.
Yeah. I'll tell you something that's big.
Oh, shit.
I'll tell you what the big news of the comic is.
Big news?
Industry.
Is it
Yeah,
huge?
it's
huge.
Big, throbbing.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to...
Sorry, I need to drink a water.
I'm parched now. I'm going to act like somebody calling into the store, and then you need to tell me what I actually need to say.
Well, the phone rings, and I say, Comics Conspiracy, we don't have Batman Damn #1. How can I help you? Like that's how the conversation.
Or people go, do you have the new Batman book?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we got Batman 55.
Yeah. That was
No, the other one.
So I'm sure everyone already knows, but in case you don't, hold on. Let me write down my show note. Bat penis. There we go. A giant book, and actually, we are going to talk about Batman 55 spoilers after the podcast as well, because it's apropos.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of stuff at the end.
Well, it is a direct conversation with Heroes in Crisis #1.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to spoil too much just out and about here. But if you're familiar at all with Batman 55 that came out last week, we had even talked around this the last few weeks about that a major event was going to happen at Batman 55. Mm-hmm. We now know a little bit more about it. There's going to be some pretty dramatic status change quotes to Nightwing going forward. And again, we'll talk more about that after kind of later in the podcast. But Batman 55 was the book, right? This was hugely pushed by DC internally. They were telling us about it. We got previews about it. It was really kind of hush-hush. There was all sorts of stuff about it. New creative team changes on the Nightwing comics, which at the last minute they pulled the creative teams and resolicited the issue.
They pulled Percy and whoever was doing it.
Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that. But this other book was supposed to come out last week as well, called Batman Damned. It was the first of the 3-issue Black Label, non-continuity, standalone.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it on the .75.
Yeah, and we talked about it, in the last few months when they announced these books, right? That Batman Damned is going to be this big thing. It's oversized. It's sort of made for a graphic novel, so we ordered big, but not huge. It's beautiful. Libra Mejo did the art, amazing artist. Brian Azzarello is the writer, fantastic writer. Some of my favorite, easily two of my favorite creators. They did Batman Noel, and they did, he did Batman Noel. The two of them did that Joker book a number of years back. This was just this other thing that was coming out alongside Batman 55. Obviously Batman 55 sold well, but nobody cares about Batman 55.
No. And it's really poor on DC's part that they released it on the same day as Batman 55, because I think that, like you said, the bat penis overshadowed anything that happened in Batman 55. And the thing is, we've known for months that Bruce Wayne's dick was going to be in this book.
I would say months. So what happened here was that issue of Batman, Damned. These are all mature reader, right? All these Black Label books are going to be mature reader. Now that's up to the creators to kind of do whatever they want. This is not set in stone. This isn't part of the regular continuity, so they're free to sort of do what they want. Retailers got preview copies of a big chunk of the book maybe a month ago or so, and I even remember there was on the retailer group there was a video conference call with Dan Didio when he was showing it off, and I was like, oh, it's oversized. Oh, it's going to kill sales. And there was a lot of blowback to the side. There's a lot of blowback from retailers about the format of the book. And I do remember a couple of retailers when they got the preview, they're like, "Is that Batman's dick?" Like, is that going to be censored in the book? But it wasn't like a thing. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god. Like, no, it just sort of.
It wasn't like you were looking at.
You're just trying not to stare directly at it, right?
Or you were like some adult comic porn crap.
No. It's but just so the scene. He's in the Batcave. He's
taking off his costume and throwing everything on the ground and leaving a trail of bullshit for Alfred to clean up. Like, what a dick.
Yeah, and it's just like it's not this like sexual scene or anything like that. But in the digital copy, it is shadowed. And in the regular copy, it's not like it's like fully erect right in the middle of the page, arrows pointing at it. It's just this very subtle thing, right? But again, no retailer really made anything about this. Like, no one really complained on the retailer group. Again, a couple of people kind of joked about it, but like
the focus was more on the format that it was coming out in.
The format, and then again, as we go closer, Batman 55, right? Yeah. I mean, these are the two big things. So I was out sick Wednesday, but I started to hear that Damned was starting that you started to see online.
$50.
Wait, no. Wednesday morning, it was like, what's up with Batman's dick? Like, he's naked in this book? Like, I saw some tweets about it, and then by like Wednesday night, we had him here at the store for quite a while, but Marshall said they kind of kept more and more people kept coming in for him, and then by Wednesday night, early Wednesday night, they were gone. Thursday morning, it was like the shit had hit the fan. Like, everyone was talking about it. The book was $120 for the set on eBay for the both covers. They were making fun of it on all the late shows, and so this I have in my history of the store, I have never seen so many random people call or come in for a book like this. Now you can joke about it because it's a lot of flippers. I'm sure some people that are really big fans of Azzarello and Libermejo now can't get the book, or they'll get the second print or trade, right? Yep. But it's like this sold out on a weird level. And of course, most of the calls are from flippers or from speculators. But who the fuck saw this coming? What the hell? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so crazy.
To me, I think the most annoying thing about it, again, is... it's poor planning on DC's part on not only releasing of the book, but also of marketing of the book, and also of you have this book that's coming out as an oversized format, which already puts retailers on caution.
It's not there's no market. You cannot market virally, right? This happened virally. This is this is the definition of viral marketing. And DC couldn't have ever done anything about this. No one had any idea. There's the whole reason this happens is because no one had any idea this was going to happen. You can't correct for this. Had DC printed more and we ordered more, we wouldn't have been able to sell them because everyone would have had them, so no one would have cared. There is no way this could have happened there's no way for this to happen any other way. There's no way for us to have more or DC to know and have it actually work. It does. Again, that's just not how this happens. So it's fascinating that this did. It's fascinating that a ton of straight dudes are looking for a comic with Batman's dick in it. Like, I love that. To me, that's the funniest thing in this whole... Because I want to just say, like, what about it? Is there, like... Did you hear good things about the story? Is that why you want this?
So
what's besides the money? What specific reason? What appears in this book that you want? What's the appeal of this book? So, I want to have someone just be like, dude, I just want the book with Batman's dick. Yeah. Like, just give me Batman's dick.
We used to do this in the bar industry when it was like a blowjob shot or one of those really sexual type of drinks and stuff. Like guys would come, oh, I want this and this and this, and we'd be like, what? Like they'd list out the ingredients. Yeah. And we're like, what do you want?
What's it called?
And they're like, dude, I want this. Dude, I don't know. Dude, you got to just tell me the name of the drink. I'm like, I want a blowjob. Oh, okay, I'll get you a blowjob. And you blow it out of proportion.
Of course.
But it's, well, the thing is looking and being in this industry and doing what I do in this industry, I now know that there's going to be a label that's printed up that says first appearance of Bat Dick.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make first appearance of Little Bruce, first appearance of the Dork Knight.
Just change it up every single time.
I've heard them all. I've heard them all at this point, right? Yeah, there's just so many of them.
I had to post at least 3 in the group.
Yeah, just call him Dick. Just call him Dick Grayson. It's fine. Big week for Dick Grayson. How about that?
One dick comes out and the other gets blown away.
Yeah. So, Batman Damned. What a crazy book. And it's not going to be the last of it, but it's, early tomorrow morning we should hear about the second print going out on a wire. Pretty sure it's going to be uncensored. I don't think DC's that stupid. But we'll see. We'll see if I'm wrong on the morning.
I think they're going to censor the digital version.
It already is. I mean, and that's not Comixology censoring that. That's the file DC sent. Yeah. So whether it was a case of it was supposed to be shadowed more and the color, the printing just wasn't as shadowed as they anticipated, whether it was fully intentional to do 2 different versions, I don't know. DC has been very, very quiet about this on the retailer front. And I don't. Did I talk about this on a similar note? How basically DC's completely killed like their retailer liaison stuff. Did I talk about this?
You said, I don't know if you said anything on here. I know you've told me that they've completely killed the group on Facebook.
It's the stupidest thing. DC has shot themselves in the fucking foot. They were getting so much positive feedback from retailers, and they were like, and it wasn't just, hey, we like you. It was, we can fucking sell your shit. We are giving you advice. We're telling you what we need. If you don't have this stuff, if you don't have these images, we're talking about the Mera. Is Mera or Dolphin on the cover? That's all we fucking need to know. Right?
Yeah, and they could easily just tell you yes, and then you would know exactly how much to order on FOC.
Stuff like that. And so now it's like they shut down all the every post is moderated. They barely post, and when they post, there's they would have 100 comments and likes and messages on their post, and now there's 2 likes on a post because there's no comment, and the info they're giving us is nothing. We were having we would have messages about could we get books back into print? And now it's well, here's our emails. You can email us. And I'm like, fuck that, dude. We're in this private social media group specifically because we can all as a community come together.
The thing is if DC's so worried about being on a social media group and stuff like that, then why don't they just host it on their own goddamn site and have a group of retailers there?
Their complaint was they said that they were spending too much time on it. And I'm like, that's your fucking job. If you're sales and marketing, your job is talking to your customers. You're talking to us. It infuriates me. DC has gone from, in one move, gone from easily the most, the top 1 or 2 proactive retailer, comic companies out there to basically non-existent. And it's going to affect them. They're not going to hear the feedback. We're not going to get excited. We're not going to have a source of contact, and it's going to change things. It's going to change things very dramatically for DC, and it sucks. I'm a big DC fan, and we sell a lot of DC comics, and I hope it doesn't, but it's going to, and I'll be very curious what the next few months, but the next few years are like. I think DC made a big fucking mistake. Anyway, we'll talk about that more as time goes on.
I think Bryce is having a heart attack right now.
The Marvel group isn't great, but at least we can post on it. At least we can have conversations. We get answers, kind of, right?
When they feel like talking to you.
I mean, it's just not very active, but there's just not a lot we can. But we get way more from the Marvel group now than the DC group.
Yeah.
Valiant's really good. We just don't sell a lot of Valiant, so there's not. The indie companies are always. Image doesn't have one. It's weird that Image doesn't.
Well, Image is. I mean, they're just the publishing label. I mean, there's not really anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
they do, but it's not the same.
I mean, they have their expos, but I think that if they had more engagement and more stuff for retailers like we had with Oblivion Song and stuff like that, I think that there would be more. It would be easier for us to push or stock their products as they came out. But like you said, you've adopted 5 copies of #1, right?
With Image.
With Image,
a lot of stuff, yeah.
Like that. I mean, that's your flat line. You get 5. If you sell, great. If not, cut your 2s and move on.
Yeah, for some stuff, yeah. I mean, obviously not for everything, but you guys didn't talk about Joaquin Phoenix Joker reveal.
No, that had not dropped yet.
So they showed
the drop we got for the
Captain Marvel.
We got Captain Marvel.
Yeah, you got the Captain Marvel trailer. So they showed Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. Well, they showed him as
some dude. I don't know what it is.
Something Fleck. Affleck, basically. His name is Affleck, right? It was Aaron Fleck or something like that. I remember what the
Alan Fleck?
But it doesn't matter.
Al Fleck.
But then they showed him, and I'm like, well, okay, he kind of looks like a scuzzy dude, I guess. And then they showed him the Joker, and there was some leaked footage actually from one of the shots where they're in the subway at Gotham.
Yeah.
He looks good.
He just looks like a more modernized version of Batman. It's like Joker 66. Like, I mean, it's...
I know, it's closer to the Heath Ledger Joker than that. I mean, he's not quite as exaggerated, but it's...
I think it's kind of in between.
You know, like the 66 Joker.
It just looks like he has more messed up makeup.
Yeah.
His makeup looks more clownish than anything. But, I mean... From what I've read on Twitter and what I've seen... The hype for this is just kind of...
Well, we don't know. I mean, I don't care about anything at this point. I don't want to know stories, plots. They showed the character. Cool. He looks like the Joker. Let's see where they go with it. I have no clue. I'm super excited if it's good. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm down. It looks like the Joker to me.
It's a comic book movie.
Yeah, sure.
For anything.
Sure.
You're so looking forward to Venom in like a week and a half.
It's really that soon?
Yeah.
When is it?
Oh
my God! It's almost October. When is it?
October 5th, I think.
No.
Yeah, it drops October 5th.
No.
Yes, it does. Venom comes out October 5th. Wait for it. I wish we had video.
I seriously thought this movie was out like in like 3 months or something like that. Holy shit! It's out in like a week.
Yeah. A week and a half. Yeah. That's the... Can I say it?
It's a show weekend. Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even realize that. Wow. Okay.
The new trailer doesn't make it look any better.
Why? I thought we had... Wow, I had no idea the Venom movie was out that soon. Holy shit. You know Daredevil Season 3 comes out in like a couple weeks?
Apparently.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, one good thing about being a lot of drugs and laying around my house... this is apparently how people watch TV. It's incredible. I gotta stop working.
You just have a work injury. Go home, watch your shit, and come back.
I watched all of Jessica Jones season 2. Sorry, this is gonna be really quick. I watched all of Jessica Jones season 2. That was really shitty. I love season 1. Season 2 was really bad. I actually finished off Iron Fist season 1. It was actually okay. The back half of Iron Fist is okay.
I want to put an asterisk on this. You were on drugs.
No, but it was okay.
You were on drugs.
And then I watched the first half of Luke Cage season 2, and actually I really liked it. I really like Bushmaster. But now I am back working, so I'll never finish Luke Cage season 2.
But hey, you know what's really great too? All the CW shows come back in like a week and a half. And we're gonna get Batwoman.
We have like 17 shows to watch, plus the Joker movie, plus the Venom movie. Oh my God, I can't believe the Venom movie's out so soon.
Well, and Solo came out today.
Yeah, whatever. I'll watch that eventually.
Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Or on Amazon, never.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker stuff looks cool. I have no clue what the story is going to be. I'm not paying attention too much. I'm excited for it. I hope it's good when it comes out.
Well, it looks like it's a period piece.
Like 70s, 80s. Yeah, that was some of the early talk. I mean, this goes from like it's gonna happen to like it's this weird thing that why would this happen to be like, oh shit, they're filming. It's already official. Like it'll be out next year.
Maybe it'll explain the 3 Jokers.
Crazy. Maybe it'll be part of it. Another quick DC movie news. They well. Again, we'll see, but they said Birds of Prey, the Squad kind of spin-off-y show. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
It's the movie, it's not the show.
Sorry, movie, yes, you know what I mean. February 7th, 2020. And they're actively casting right now. That's super soon. That's like a year and a half. They're going to like be filming this by the end of the year.
It's not a Star Wars movie.
So what?
They're reshoot half the film?
No, they're shooting soon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean...
A couple of Joker got slated for 2020.
Joker should be out... Joker should be, I would think, 2019 if they're filming now. End of 2019. If Birds of Prey is 2020, Batman, Superman... word is Flash is getting fast-tracked, no pun intended, but we'll see. But we should hear really soon about the post-Infinity War, because we're
Infinity War's coming up in like 6 months.
Yeah, it's what's probably be May,
November,
right?
December,
so
January, February.
7 months.
7 months, yeah.
So I would think they have the ability to say nothing until after Infinity War comes out because they have that sort of clout. But I would just naturally assume we'll hear something before then, whether it's official start date for Black Panther 2 filming or whether it's
well, they've already leaked stuff from
Guardians
Spider-Man,
3
from Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, but I mean but there's still.
But who knows what's going to go on? With Guardians 3.
Right. So I would think we'll hear about that stuff in some official capacity, not spoiler bullshit, not random people talking on the internet. Like they said, the news I read today was, they're gonna use James Gunn's script for Guardians 3. It's like, okay, well, whatever. Who cares? Like when at Guardians of the Galaxy is tweeting, I will pay attention. Mm-hmm. Until then I don't care about spoiler shit. Or rumors. But yeah, a lot of big movies, and Joker's happening apparently. We'll see. We'll see if it's any good. I hope it is. And one final little news story. We get to some questions, and then we'll get to our Heroes in Crisis talk.
And Batman 55.
And Batman 55. Want to talk real quick about the death of Daredevil. Charles Soule is leaving Daredevil. It seems at the end of this current arc. So 609 through 612, they were kind of keeping it a little secret, but the official title is The Death of Daredevil. Yeah. I mean... So
we're saying 2021 Return of Daredevil?
No, 2019 Return of Daredevil. Sure. Maybe Daredevil will die, and then Matt Murdock will become a different superhero for 6 issues, and then it'll come back. And yeah, you can laugh that, Return of Wolverine. Well, he was dead for a couple years. Yeah, but you had 9 other Wolverines running around.
Yeah, Old Man Logan. They pretty much brought Old Man Logan in immediately.
Yeah,
and then they've had X-23 hopping around all over the place, and they had basically the Wolverine team, which was at Weapon H for a while.
Yeah, you've had more Wolverine when Wolverine was dead than when he was alive. So, them killing Daredevil is okay. Well, whatever. We'll see what they do with it.
What is Charles going to be doing? Other stuff with Marvel? Or is he going somewhere else?
Don't know. It doesn't say. I like Charles. I've liked his Daredevil run. I've been catching up on it. It's been pretty good. So I'm still back from the current story arcs.
Was rough.
Yeah, the blind spot stuff. Yeah. But I've liked it as it went on.
I picked it up around the Wilson Fisk, which was the Legacy stuff.
Yeah,
and it seemed to be getting better, but I just didn't stick with it.
Yeah, I've always been a big Daredevil fan, so I'm curious to see what they do. But yeah, yeah, I don't think we'll have a line of people waiting at the door for the Death of Daredevil issue.
Now, maybe if they showed us Matt Murdock's dick.
Now we're talking. I made some joke on one of the retailer forums. I was like, dude, you know Marvel already has like a 17-part like Wolverine's dick like miniseries coming out, like
his balls sport claws.
just
and those ones are ice claws.
Wolverine's dick alpha, four issue miniseries. Prime. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. Leia, before we get to our spoilery talk, let's answer some questions here. I'm gonna jump over to our Twitters. We've got some good ones. If I can go down to the bottom where it's...
Well, did you want to talk about assholes on the internet?
No. We always talk about assholes on the internet.
We are the assholes on the internet. Dead air.
This is from Ulysses. He says, my question is, did you guys read Batman Damned? Because I loved it. Do you think it's going to be magazine format? Because I hope so. But yes, it is magazine format.
How did you read it?
Because it is magazine format.
I guess you might have read it digitally.
Yeah. I hope, and should Black Label only do absolute editions? Well, no, they're not going to only do absolute editions. No. They'll do their regular books. But no, actually, I haven't read Batman Damned. I haven't read any comics in the last few weeks. I've been super busy, and then
I have one complaint about Batman Damned.
You didn't like the text.
It was the text, the lettering on the book, and actually Eric Larson tweeted about this as well. Mm-hmm. It's really difficult to read at times because it's not it. It's a beautiful like font, but the difficult part is with the artwork and like just. It's not that bright of a white, or there's not enough of white in the actual font that comes across. So it's difficult at times to read. It kind of blends into itself. And since it's kind of a cursive font, it makes it a little bit harder to kind of read at times. I mean, I read it. It was fine. But I found it difficult to read. And when the lettering and font is off in a book, you can tell it pulls away from the story.
Well, DC's had some issues with their new paper stock that they're using where they're printing a lot of stuff very dark.
Yeah.
And I don't like it at all. I want them to go back to their glossy paper so badly. It looks so much better.
Light.
Huh?
It's so light. It's so much
the new
lighter.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you fit a third as many comics in a box. They're super puffy. They're huge.
Poofy.
It's from Tyler. He says, what are your guys' thoughts on back issue pricing? I'm not talking about key issues, but just regular stock that's been sitting around for years. I've seen many stores that will mark up back issues 50 cents over cover price. I find that to be pretty ridiculous, and I rarely buy from them. There's a couple of schools of thought on this. A lot of stores don't do back issues anymore, so they just get rid of them. A lot of stores will mark up a back issue the price or some price around their charge for the bag and board that they use to put the back issue in. So if a book is $2.99 and they charge 25 cents for back issues, a lot of stores will charge $3.25 for a back issue because you're also getting the bag and board. I've seen just like stores that are straight like everything's $5. Doesn't matter how bad it is.
Yeah. Or if it's $2.99, they mark it up to $3.50 or $4.
Yeah, and I've seen plenty of stores too that are like everything is $1. It doesn't matter what it is, right? What we do is for anything modern that does not have any sort of perceived extra value, basically, I kind of, a number of years ago, I said a $3 price point. It was the modern day price of all comics. Mm-hmm. So basically, almost every comic from the 1980s to now is $3, or if the cover price is higher, it'll be that higher cover price, with the exception of like anniversaries. And obviously, I'm not talking about special like key issues. I'm talking about just like your standard bulk issues. So $2.99 back issues are $3. $1.95 back issues are $3. $2.50 back issues are $3. It's a very standardized price. It's the price of almost every issue across the board. And again, those books that are $1.99, they're now 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so
normally they guide for $3 to $4.
And they guide for $3 to $4, right? I mean, I'm usually under guide on a lot of these books, but we took again. Now that Marvel is moving most of their books to $4, or all their books to $4, some DC are $4, all independents are $4. Those again are just the cover price. So a $3.99 book.
We still market because we get sick and tired of people going, "What's the price?"
Well, we market $4, right? Yeah. I mean, sorry for the penny, but the penny pays for the mark. The penny pays for the sticker. So I don't charge extra for the bag and board. Now, there are plenty of older books where it's $10, $15 books, right?
Yeah.
Because it's, a 25-cent Marvel comic that's, worth some money because it's older, right? So there's that. But yeah, once you get into like the 80s to now, $3 to $4 is pretty much the average. Again, outside any sort of key issue. And we do tons of sales as well where we'll do them half off. We're doing one in 2 weeks. But Day Venom comes out will be our first day of our sale. So we do a lot of that. But, I mean, I understand why stores do it, and it's obviously your prerogative not to buy it. But it's not very – it's kind of common. Maybe kind of an older thing. I don't know that I see a lot of stores do it anymore. But I know stores do. That have always done it.
Yeah.
I don't know if newer stores do it, but I do see it regularly.
From my experience at going to different comic book stores around here and across some of the United States, the places that seem to mark up a little bit don't really seem to give, like, their organization's not the best. The look of the back issues, like, in the bin is like this haphazard, thrown together. When I came and started doing back issues for you, we started to purge out all the ones that had the shorter back the boards.
We redid our boards.
We redid our boards. We've kept everything a uniform look. So when you come into the store and you look at our back issue bins, it has this uniformity to it. It has this nice look to it. Like some of the labels might be a little brown from people's finger grease and stuff.
Oh, and I replace those labels regularly.
But it still looks...
We even reback... Like, we just had a guy that cleared out a ton of Action comic issues from us, so we just restocked, 300 issues of Action Comics in our back issue bins, and I'm like, yeah, it looks nice with all new bags and boards.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And the thing is when you put that much in, you sell more, right? Like, if you marked it up 50 cents for that, or 25 cents for that bag and board... Again, you're going to get those people that are like, why am I... Yeah. The value of that book is not... Unless it's a key issue or something, or it has a J. Scott Campbell Black Cat cover or something, like, there's no reason that book's going to do anything significant, and it's most likely only going to sell for $1 on a sale.
Yeah.
So if you can get it for what you put it on, the price you put it on there, even if you're giving them the bag and the board... Right?
Yeah.
$3, $2.75. You made $1.50.
Yeah.
Right? Over what it would have been if you just sold it at a sale.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, but like you said at the beginning of that, it was a lot of stores are getting rid of the back issues.
Yep.
And I mean, the guy that came in to clear out Action, I mean, sometimes we have that happen because people are like, holy shit, this store has back issues.
And they're organized.
And they go... Thunk, and then they come back the next day and take even more.
He did.
So it's like, it hasn't happened. It happens occasionally, but I think we're going to see it happen more and more. Just with
books are getting older. Yeah,
books are getting older, and less stores are doing the back issue route.
Yeah. It's from Norman. He says, "Does your wife, Leanne, or Charlie's wife, Nadia, read anything regularly? Are they fans of the industry, or do they just tolerate their husband's love of comics?" Any other podcast hosts that are married or with significant others? Same question.
I'm crying right now for a little bit, but continue.
Leanne answered, I used to read a lot of comics, but being married to Ryan made me stop. No, which isn't true. I don't think I made her stop. No, I mean, she gets so much comic shit from me just from being around the shows and the movies and everything, right? And this is pretty common, right? That a lot of people are like, I don't need to read comics. I watch 3 of the TV shows. Those are my comics, right? No, Leanne used to read some comics like when she was younger. Yeah, but she was never a big comic fan. Batman the Animated Series is one of her favorite shows of all time, period. She's a huge Batman fan, loves all the movies. So that's always been her focus, has been more on the movie and TV side, even when she was younger.
She has more of an artistic interest in comics necessarily than a reading aspect of it. So, she definitely peruses a lot of comic book material, but it's more necessarily for the art versus for the stories.
Yep.
Because she just listens to you ramble on about Final Crisis and do research on Wikipedia and then some fan pages.
Well, and I don't think Nadia reads comics at all. I mean, I think she goes to like the movies and again watches the TV shows and stuff. But I don't think she does. I don't think she's really read any of the comics.
Nadia,
but Charlie can answer for that.
Nadia, you can answer via Twitter. Just reply.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think she listens to this either.
Stefano says, how do you guys feel about comic creators making huge lore developments that serve for the current arc, but likely won't stick around to be continuity or universe relevant? For example, Azzarello's Wonder Woman's Old Gods, or Charles Soule's The Fungal Metal and Paper Swamp Thing Kingdoms, which they added, like, you expanded like the red and green and everything.
Well, Snyder had started that.
But I mean, the
Soule expanded on
right.
what Snyder had done there.
I like it when people do this, and it's up to the next creative team to run with it if they want. I mean, you're never going to fundamentally change the core concept of Wonder Woman. So adding in something like these other gods is cool, and if the next creative team wants to use it, and that's okay, then cool. But I think most creators understand they're not reinventing the wheel usually, right? It happens occasionally, but I think most creators realize that this is a kind of one-off thing for their own story.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's something absolutely game-changing that it becomes the standard for the character.
Yeah, I mean, look like Alan Moore Swamp Thing, right? I mean, that did pretty drastically change the character.
Yeah. And then Jeff Johns' emotional spectrum. That drastically changed Lanterns. Sure. Because, I mean, we're not going to go back to just having, green and yellow.
There was no yellow before Jeff Johns' stuff either. I mean, you had Sinestro, but that was Sinestro.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was all Johns.
That was all Johns.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, that is now...
It's very possible that, like, Grant Morrison's Green Lantern is going to be a little more toned back. I think they're going to avoid the
emotional spectrum
but,
much, yeah.
But it's there. It'll come back. Yeah, they'll always use it.
Well, that's the thing is it's not something that needs to be utilized all the time. It can be something you can tone back and go back to what the character is at its core.
Yeah.
So...
Stefano also asked, did anyone chance to try out Border Town from Vertigo? Said I really dig the art. It strikes me a little bit like Chris Burnham, which is just fantastic. I have not, but it's in my stack to read. Hopefully in the next week or two I'll get a chance.
I checked out House of Whispers. And
How was number one? Yeah, I didn't hear great things.
I think what's difficult about... So reading the Sandman universe kind of rebirth issue, I had an interest in all the titles that were coming out.
Yeah.
With the House of Whispers, I think it was just kind of with the rebirth issue, you kind of got this ease. It's a
little tease of it. Yeah.
Well, this kind of ease into what where the House of Whispers is, like Louisiana, New Orleans. Like all of this, voodoo kind of stuff, you got eased into it a little bit and kind of like, okay, in this, you're kind of just like gas pedal to the goddamn floor and you're just kind of lost during it at what's going on. And like all of this stuff is happening all at once and it's very it's jarring. So to me, it's like, well, I'll read issue 2 to see if they kind of balance it out.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think it wasn't the best first issue after what they gave us in Rebirth. That universe, Sandman universe one shot. So however, Size Superior's Dreaming was great. I enjoyed it. I'm like, give me more.
Good. Bennett asks, for those who have seen Young Justice, are there any teen DC characters who were created after the show's original cancellation you would like to see make an appearance in the new season? I'm wondering if Damian or John Kent could somehow work in the timeline. I don't care if they would work in the timeline. I absolutely want Damian or Jonathan Kent to be in there. Hell yeah.
In the animated stuff?
Yeah, well, in Young Justice.
They should be.
Within the continuity of Young Justice, I don't know that it would really make a lot of sense, but could they find a way? Sure. Ra's al Ghul could just show up with Damian one day, right? Or Talia. Why not? John, I don't know how they'd work that, really. But they could, right? I mean, time's passed. They could just say, Superman had a kid, between season 2 and 3. Like, they could.
Yep.
Andrew Nelson Mendez. Hey, Andrew. He says, I decided to start a pull list at my local comic shop. Well, thank you. Comic shops usually appreciate that very much.
As long as you keep coming in.
As long as you make sure you pick up your books. As this is my first.
Let them know when you want to cancel.
As this is my first pull list, it made me wonder, do you remember the first set of comics on your first pull list? Do you have any idea what was on your first pull list? Because I know exactly what was on my pull list.
Darkhawk
when I started.
5. No, I think for me, when I started getting stuff, it was at Brian's Books, but I don't remember it. It was not really a pull list. It was more like special order stuff. Like I had a phase where I just kind of went through previews and ordered a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, to be honest, I haven't really had a pull list ever.
Yeah, until even here you don't
hear.
Well, you do with the hub now.
I do with the hub, but that's one and done. Like,
yeah.
And I go through previews and I just hit what I like. We had
a conversation. I don't think you were here. I had a conversation with Gage before.
Yesterday.
Were you here? No, today.
Gage was here today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw him drive.
With one of our customers today, and I was actually asking him about this. One of our longtime customers, and I was saying like, you're not the guy that gets a book on his sub list and leaves it there for 20 years. Like, he's on and off and on and off and up and down and drops stuff. And I'm the guy that's like, I've subscribed to Green Arrow since the creation of time. Like, I just have I would never. Well, I don't know why I would never drop it. Like, nothing would ever cause me to drop this. Well, technically, I did during Rebirth or during New 52, but
that early stuff was really bad.
Really bad. But that aside, I mean, the books that I subbed to when I started would have been Avengers, Iron Man, Cap, Thor, Superman, Adventure, Action, and Man of Steel.
Adventures of Superman.
Of Superman. I know I had all 4 of the main Superman titles. I probably had. I would have had Batman and Detective on there as well. I know I had the main Avengers books on there. So yeah, I absolutely would have had all that on my pull list. Oh, not that I would have. I did. I know I did because those are the books I was getting at the time. I had other stuff as well, but that was the big stuff.
Yeah, I do my pull list every week, but before the hub, I would just basically look at the wall and go, "What do I want?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, you and I would joke like, "Brock, are you still getting this independent title?" And I'd be like, "Yep, all right, 1 copy for Brock."
Travis over from Current Comics asks, who's excited for Gifted Season 2 premiere tonight? Man.
More TV?
Yeah.
More TV?
Yeah. I don't think I realized it was on tonight. I made a vow. Actually.
Oh, crap.
Can I see the Venom movie? Oh, yeah, Sony. Yeah, I can see that. That's fine. I don't know if I'm watching Gifted Season 2. I think I'm waiting.
Why?
Because I'm waiting for the merger. I don't want to give Fox any of my money. I think I'm just going to wait for the merger.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still pulling the...
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I stick with it. I know Simpsons will come back soon. There may be something on Fox I may end up watching. But, I just don't feel like giving Fox any of my money these days. We'll wait till the merger's done. I think I got one more. I got 2 more, but one. Well, let's do Jesus' real quick, and then the other's a retailer question. Jesus says, do you guys by chance remember the first comic book you ever owned? Mine was Batman 423, the red McFarlane cover of Batman holding that woman with the cape going all crazy.
That's a good cover.
We talk about my first traditional comic book regularly on this podcast. Brock likes to make fun of me. Darkhawk number 4. Thank you. The first panel being like this crotch shot of like, it's like the villain or something like that. I don't remember who it is.
It's Darkhawk getting dressed.
But it's like this weird like cod piecing. Is it Darkhawk?
Yeah, it's Darkhawk.
Yeah. You obviously paid a lot more attention than I did to that first cover or to that first page, but
because that's part of the joke.
And Brock's was Batman and the Outsiders,
number 1.
So those were our early first day comics, and yeah, good books. If you have a very peculiar first comic, let me know. I get a lot of people who say G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Wars. Yeah. A lot of my customers are a little bit older. Guys,
some people go
early 40s.
Depending on where you're from, a lot of people say...
I get a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man. But
from younger people.
Why am I blanking on what the European sells really well in Europe?
Asterix and Tintin. Yeah, I get a lot of Asterix and Tintin, too. Yep. A lot of Disney stuff, a lot of Duck stuff from... because we have a lot of...
and you get this battering of, like, my uncle gave me Spider-Man comics, or X-Men comics, or, it's... But I think what Travis, right? Or is it?
No, Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus. I think what Jesus really means is, I mean, especially for me and with Batman and the Outsiders, it's that cover. Like, what's that first? What's your first book? A lot of times that's that cover that really establishes it. Because I probably had comics before that, but
yeah. So, last one from Robert. He says, got a couple pull list stat questions. Mm-hmm. He says, what's the most common number of books on someone's pull list? The upper end. How many people are on the average? How many people close to the max? I don't have specific numbers. I might be able to pull them or figure them out from Comic Hub.
I mean, it's pretty much in general. You have a fair amount of people that are
like everything. Yeah. I have a couple dozen customers to get 1 to 3 books.
Yeah,
I have a couple dozen customers to get 3 to 5. The big chunk of my people are
like 10 to 20,
10 to 15 a month. 10 to 20 a month, somewhere.
A month. Okay, so we're talking a month.
Oh, sorry. I was just going like a month. Yeah, somewhere in that range. I have a couple people that get a good 20 to 30 a week.
Yeah, that's me.
And then I get
I'm more like 16.
And then I have a couple people that get
almost everything.
30 to 50 a week. And then there's the guys that get nearly every book being published. They don't come around often, but I'm lucky enough to have one of them right now, and he's been here for quite a while. # love the Blake. So, so it happens. But I mean, you're talking 75-80% of the customers get 20 or fewer books a month, and you have that kind of the whales at the end that are the 30, 40, 50 books a month guys. I mean, I have a decent amount of people that get 20, 30 books a week.
I've been averaging like 13 to 18 titles a week.
Yeah.
But for me, you throw on top of the variants on top of that, I'm easily over 20.
Yeah, I'm probably 10 to 12 a week.
Handful of variants.
And a couple of variants on top of that, maybe. Yeah, I 15 to 20 a week is probably my big, like this week. This week is like a 20 booker.
Yeah. This week
this is a big week.
30 for me.
You got like 5 trades that came out this week too. You got a shitload of stuff this week.
I got fucking bent over this week.
Yeah, I've been pretty good with what I pick up. But I mean, I read a shitload more. But we have a couple really big subscribers, and we have a lot of very small subscribers, and then the big chunks in the middle there. And we have a lot of $50 a week customers. That's about 10 books, right? I mean, that's 10, 12 books. A lot of those customers. So.
Well, the thing is, it's like, people are like, well, 3 books on their pull list for a month, that's nothing. I was like, yeah, but they're consistent. Like, a lot of people that like those 3 books are because they like Brian K. Vaughan. Or they like,
Well, it's 2 books now if they like Brian K. Vaughan. Poor Saga.
Or it's it's somebody's getting Squirrel Girl and Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur. And like, normally the smaller ones are very like pinpoint focused on what they
just
want.
1 or 2 bucks. Yeah.
So,
but they'll buy them forever. So.
Yeah.
All right. Let me do the outro here, and then we'll do our full spoiler talk. And we didn't really get to do our let me do the Patreon, the Patreon guys here, and then we'll do our full outro after we talk. But this is going to be your little spoiler break. So let me thank our good backers from Patreon, our high tier backers. And then we'll talk briefly about Batman 55 and Heroes in Crisis 1, and then we'll wrap this episode up. So thank our good friend Julian Titus at the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
No pants!
There it is. Ryan Hess has Blowhards. It's a video game podcast. That's at blowhards.libsyn.com. Jody Lawson is canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. You can go check out his comics there. Don't forget about Andrew Nelson Mendez, who just opened up his very first pull list. He also has a Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast. You can find that on iTunes.
Now, we just hope that the pull list that he opened at a store is a decent store that's going to put the books that he wants in the pull list.
Hopefully. Larry Davis has the Stand and Deliver podcast about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Again, you can find that on iTunes and everywhere you can find podcasts. And our good friends Sam Che, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff, and Darfox8 over at the Manga Machinations podcast, which I was on right prior to my my horrific injuries.
Fetal position, right?
If you go over to Manga Machinations, you can hear I was on there for their 4th anniversary episode. We talked about my early history with manga, and we talked a lot about the store, about our ordering here, how we deal with manga, where we get recommendations from, what our customer base is for it. So you've heard me talk about some of this stuff, but a lot of you probably haven't. We don't talk about manga here too often. And I had a very specific question I wanted to ask, and you can find out what that question was. There is a very funny conversation. We talk a lot about light novels, and I'll just leave it at that. So why don't you go over to Manga Machinations and go check out the episode that I was on there for their anniversary. You know what? If you let me vamp for a minute, I can grab the episode number because
it would be beneficial for us to know what episode you were on, so people can go and really just get that question and just get what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really great when I type in.
The internet
on
works.
The website, because Manga Machinations is the mangamachinations.tumblr.com is a great site, which it is. It's a great site because you hear all about the manga that they're reading on mangamachinations.com. And I bet if I scroll down,
you're telling us they need a sidebar.
If I scroll down about a week to the giant picture of Harley Quinn, I can see episode number 208.
They used the Harley Quinn picture?
Yeah, they used the store exclusive cover for the store picture.
Oh,
for the episode picture.
You popped in.
Yeah.
Oh, we could.
Were
talk
they joined
about
us for the
that
special 4-year anniversary of Manga Machinations?
We need to drop about that other store exclusive too.
We do. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, we're gonna talk about Batman 55.
No, we're not. We're gonna finish the outro.
No, that's all we're gonna do. We'll finish the outro at the end. We're talking about Batman 55.
Spoilers.
And Here's a Crisis number 1 now. Again, not like this is going to be like an hour-long discussion about every element of this book. But
no, because you want to go home.
We do have some stuff to say about these books. So I'm going to talk about that right now. Batman 55, if you don't know, Dick Grayson gets shot in the head by KG Beast.
Yep.
Now, this was a huge deal that DC was really trying to kind of get stores amped up for. That's going to be this big, massive change to Nightwing going forward. Now I don't know, again, because they pulled Percy off the book. Like they're just like
we talked about this before with the change of creative team, and
so I don't know,
they're not taking that direction anymore. They're complete it's kind of, it has almost a bad a feel as Justice League Odyssey that's coming out this week. I mean, that book it
was delayed by 2 months.
2 months, and they redid it, and so it's like.
But, I shouldn't say Nightwing didn't get a bullet that grazed his skull. He got shot through the head.
Yes.
Like, if you saw that photo out there, there's the cover coming up of I think it's Nightwing 50, where he's got the shaved head with the Nightwing kind of like thing in his head. That's like the exit wound, right?
Yeah.
That's like the where they sewed him up, right? And now he doesn't die, clearly, right? But does he lose his powers? It's seeming like he's kind of transitioning to a different type of hero, whether he's kind of the new Oracle, or we don't know what they're going to do with him.
Well, the thing is,
it's a great issue too.
55 is a fantastic issue.
Shocking as hell.
54,
you just see the buildup of and 54 was sort
54 was it adds to the buildup, but 54 on its own, when I read it, I was like, this was probably the first issue of Tom King's Batman run. I was kind of
you're kind of like, let's talk about Dick Grayson and Batman. They're sort of their history, their back. Why are we focusing on this? Yes. Oh, because we're going to shoot him in the head.
Yeah. 54 with 55. 54 works a lot better.
Yeah.
But by itself, 54, I don't think it cannot stand alone on it. It cannot stand alone.
I mean, it's a perfectly fine standalone issue, but
it's not something that it's not what I'm used to with Tom King.
No, but it makes more sense when you read along with 55.
But God, just the pacing in 55, just everything of just it was like literally you were watching Batman 55 like a TV episode or something on the movie.
You're just waiting for KGB to do something.
The build-up.
Yeah. Now, when they sent out preview copies to retailers, we didn't know who died. We didn't know who got shot. So the question is, does he shoot Batman, Gordon, or Nightwing, right? I mean, that was the question we had at the time. And then as stuff started to come out about Nightwing, you could kind of piece together it's Nightwing. Now, We'll talk about Heroes in Crisis here in a minute, but we have a Titans show coming up. Nightwing obviously is a major character. You know, anything to do with this character is not going to be like long term. So I'm curious to see what happens here. How do they cure him? How do they fix him? How does he go back to normal? I would not like this to be Nightwing's always scared to do gymnastics now because he doesn't have this sense of balance. Like, nah, I don't really like that. I'm very curious where they're going to go with this. Yeah. I trust Tom King and I trust DC.
Well, the thing is this is the difficult part because Batman 55 is about Batman, and it's about King's long haul story of Bane breaking Batman.
Right.
I mean, that's what this is all about. Is how Bane is going to break Batman. He's going to systematically break him down because every way he's tried in the past has not worked.
Right.
So this is just another like level of that story that's coming out. So it's very detrimental to Nightwing's character.
Yeah.
Which something like this happens in, so it's basically kind of like, well, this is happening in the Batman book, so.
But they're going to expand on it in the Nightwing book.
But that's the thing is it's the Nightwing has to deal with people who are writing Nightwing have to deal with the aftermath of this.
And that's why I wonder why scrap those issues, completely change the creative team? Was it didn't like the direction they were going? Are they just pulling back on this immediately? And they're like, never mind, he'll be fine in 2 issues. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. It's really strange. It's strange that they would.
Well, and the thing is like, I haven't been reading Nightwing. And, Nightwing's not my most favorite character, sidekick character. Some people would be mad that I call him a sidekick character, but I mean, that's his origin. That's where he's coming. He's developed into his own character. But I've heard from, people that, the book was okay. It was kind of
Yeah.
But then Percy took over and the book kind of started to write itself. It was starting to be interesting again,
The New 52, the Rebirth Nightwing has been fine. I mean, it hasn't been anything special the whole run. It's been fine. I mean, Nightwing is one of my favorite characters of all time. But the back half of the Rebirth stuff, the back half of New 52 and all of Rebirth have been just, it's okay. I mean, I love Grayson. Right? That was really good. But, I don't know what I don't know what the plan here is. But we'll speculate in a few minutes because we're going to talk about Heroes in Crisis. Because we now know that this is going to be a big change up for Nightwing going forward. Now, Heroes in Crisis is the now 9-issue miniseries. Yes. It was supposed to be 7 issues and 2
Thank
specials.
God they didn't print 1 of 7 on that first issue.
Well, it's supposed to be 9 issues or 7 issues plus 2 specials.
2 specials, and now they're just making it 9,
which is fine. I hate it when they do those specials. And it's about a town, not a town. It's about like a. It's a. I don't want to say resort. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's a place in the middle in
the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, much like Clark Kent's home.
Yeah.
It was a farmstead.
Yeah.
That is, basically a place for
a retreat
for heroes to go to recover mentally
Yeah.
from the experiences that they've had being a hero,
Yep.
the traumatic things that have happened.
Yep. It's called Sanctuary.
The Sanctuary has Kryptonian technology to keep people protected.
Now they've sort of I don't want to say forced people, but they've sort of highly suggested some people go there recently.
Yes. So
it's been kind of a backup thing in a few of the comics.
In Titans, they pushed Arsenal towards it.
Yep. Flash,
especially at the end of the annual, the recent annual that came out. It's basically was it Titans or was it Red Hood?
I think it was Red Hood.
Red Hood.
Yeah.
So in the end of Red Hood, it's basically Jason and Roy are basically on the road because Roy's going to Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And Jason's on the run.
Yeah. Wally goes there and
Wally goes there from Flash.
Yep.
But it's also preempted with the stuff that happened in Titans.
Yep.
With him kind of almost being in this
dying.
state where he can't race because of his heart.
Yeah.
So they brought Wally back to basically kind of shove him back into you're going to die.
Yeah. And the issue sets up all these other characters that were there. So something happens We don't know what. And
well, we know what the aftermath is,
but we don't know what.
We don't know how it happened or what happened or who did it.
Right. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman basically are they go to Sanctuary.
Well, they're racing back to Sanctuary.
Yeah, because something has happened. Yeah, and they get there to find a pile of dead superhero bodies, including Commander Steel.
Yep.
Is a Lagoon Boy? That's the.
I think it's,
he's one of the ones from the Titan series. A couple other random characters. I think a new character they created. What's the guy's name?
He had a catchphrase.
Yeah. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he's great for that.
But right now.
So there's a handful of throwaway characters. Yeah, even like Commander Steel. Like I don't know what variation of Commander Steel this is. I don't know if I don't think this is the same guy from JSA from like the John stuff. I don't think we're given enough info on that character.
No, we don't.
So this is where I wanna talk briefly before we go into maybe kind of the bigger spoiler. And there's a whole thread in here with Harley and Booster that it's going to be, I think, the main push of the series is sort of their experience here in Sanctuary and sort of trying to figure out what happened. But so let's talk Nightwing. Right? Nightwing.
Yeah.
We all know Nightwing. Dick Grayson, right? The other Dick.
Yeah, the other Dick. The one that got his head.
Leader of the original Teen Titans.
Yes.
Leader of the more recent Titans
yes.
in its numerous forms. There are two other bodies at Sanctuary. Well, there's more than two other bodies, but there are two other bodies we want to talk about here.
Yep.
These are two bodies that were presented in a random panel with no extra significance. It was not a giant buildup. It was not the last page. I actually flipped to the last page first when I opened the book. I opened the book and flipped to the very last page and went...
The 9 panel?
And went, oh... And went back and went back and went back and flipped through, and I went, And then I sat down and read it and went, oh, okay. There is no, this is the dead body page. There is no, this is the person getting killed page. There is no, this is the shock.
So the book,
there's just a page. There's just a random panel.
The book doesn't have the reaction. That's the problem.
It doesn't.
Right?
It doesn't have any part of it.
It's very just confirmed.
So what is it?
You like that?
So the panel is Superman coming across.
You can say it.
Wally West
Yes.
and Roy Harper, Flash and Arsenal, dead? Maybe,
yeah,
possibly. Right? Seemingly,
again,
but
it's
just there.
Yeah,
there's no extra attention. It's not. I'm gonna ride Tom King's junk all the way to the fucking Flavor Town. Okay, like, don't get me wrong. He's the greatest. Okay, this is not a knock on the writing in the comic. All right,
right? His junk, it's just bat junk
of his bat junk. Like, it's a great comic. It's a great issue.
Heroes in Crisis is fantastic.
So. You don't write a character. You don't write these characters' deaths as this sort of. I mean, I guess they're there and walk away from it, right? Now, I have no idea what issue. Maybe issue 2 is the entire story, right? We're just going by issue 1. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. It's kind of meaningless. I don't believe it. Is the best way to put it. So there's no.
Okay, so hold on. So. In Batman 55, I have to go back to Batman 55 because this is a significant.
Yeah, the buildup was
the buildup.
Perfect.
The buildup was perfect. The pacing was perfect. It's the reaction page.
Yeah,
that's it adds that much more of a level to it, right?
I mean, even if the last panel was just poof, right? It ends.
But that's the thing is the last panel's not that. The last page of Batman it could have been. But the last page of Batman 55 is Bruce screaming no.
Yeah.
Gordon frantically calling for backup and police and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the KG Beast is calmly
just
putting away the gun, packing it up, and walking out of the apartment.
Right.
Like that is like the dramatic tension that happens. That we don't need to see Bruce's or Gordon's reaction to that. We don't need to see the open mouth gape no thing.
Now, Had they taken that panel out, and it was Lagoon Boy, and you see Superman's reaction, I would have gone, yeah, okay, Lagoon Boy's dead because it's fucking Lagoon Boy, right? They're not going to kill Wally and Roy, in this way, and have it stick, and have it just be this nothing.
Well, there's a completely different other MO that we could talk about regards to.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. Right. So to me,
that's the thing is there's no reaction, right?
There's no reaction. There's no action. There's no reason to believe this is like it goes against every storytelling thing that just is that would make you believe this is. They want you to believe they don't want you to believe that this has actually happened because they just go against every rule that you should follow with this. It's just like, oh, when the Batman died, so then anyway we're just going to keep moving on to the next story. It's like whoa, back the fuck up. Like you just went right over the most important part. Like it doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing is it's only the first issue.
But you see the build-up in Batman 55, right?
But the thing is in Batman 55, remember what I said about Batman 54, right?
But it would still read the same, even without Batman 54. The ending of 55 still works.
No, 55
if the last page was the exact same page as if that page in Heroes in Crisis was the final page.
Yes, that's
a different story. Again, this is how comic books work. This is the end of a chapter. This is the last shocking moment, and then we get the reaction next issue. The fact that it's just sort of lumped into the middle of the issue with no reaction, with no build-up, with no info, it doesn't ring true. I do not believe this is the intent of the book is to show that they are dead. I don't believe it. And that's a weird thing to say.
I think what it is I think Heroes in Crisis, and I mean, I've read a little bit of the articles where Tom King has talked about this. I think Heroes in Crisis is basically, we're going to get mind fucked a little bit with this book because I think he's trying to bring people into what's happened to these characters and how much they've gone through and what it really means to them. Because I mean, if you read Heroes in Crisis, it does a fantastic job of giving you some great pacing in the Harley Quinn Booster Gold fight. It gives you great pacing in just giving us those 9-panel psych breakdowns.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a lot of stuff going on in the book. But you're right. It does brush over the deaths of these characters a little too easily.
Like way too easily. Now, what you had said before, and we hinted at, and we'll talk about this here briefly.
The MO thing?
There was a belief online.
I don't think it's just... I think it's true.
There is a belief that Dan Didio, co-publisher of DC Comics, hates legacy characters and hates the Titans, right? More specifically. There was talk of him wanting to kill Nightwing back when Infinite Crisis was coming out, right? We now have within a week, theoretically, right? Nightwing is not killed, but crippled, basically, and becoming a different character. And Wally and Roy are dead, right?
Yep.
Now, I got to look at this in a few different ways. First of all, I don't believe it's true. I don't. Whether he personally cares about these characters or not, I don't think he would go out of his way to say we have to kill these characters because a lot of that, I mean, it's kind of...
Wally West had been gone for a while.
Yeah, but during New 52. But like but they brought in like a new version. A lot of these characters, right? I mean, again, this is sort of beyond his... This goes down to publishing, and this goes down to... creative, more so than just editorial mandate. We're going to kill this character, right? I mean that it doesn't quite work that way. I mean, I guess maybe he could if he wanted to, but I don't think that's something he's going to fight with an editor over, whether they're going to kill these characters.
Well, he doesn't have to fight with an editor. He just tells the editor.
You have a television show featuring these characters on its way, right? My feeling is that you do stuff to these characters while the show is about to come to provide extra to get these characters into the spotlight. Again, it's synergy to work with them as you are then in the process of reforming these characters to bring them back to their kind of original glory, because they attempted to kind of redo the Titans books a few times, and like, you know, we talked about this before the podcast was recording. I don't know how fucking hard it is to make a Teen Titans comic. I like both of the new versions of the titles as well, but like, you could just have a fucking normal Teen Titans comic. Just Teen Titans with the normal Teen Titans, and Titans with the original Titans. Like, it's not that fucking difficult, right? Now, if Dan Dito's out there like, fuck these guys and I hate these characters, well, fuck him, right? Like, because it's ridiculous. Because Nightwing, especially Nightwing and Wally West are two of the greatest comic characters of all time, right? I mean, I love Roy, but it's like, I'm not going to go to bat for him. But I'll defend him.
Addict.
No, he's a great character. But I mean, no question asked. Dick Grayson and Wally West are two of the greatest comic characters, period, ever created. No question asked. Easily two of the greatest characters. And, you know, when Dan's gone, they'll just be right back if that's the case, right? If he really hates these characters for whatever reason, it's like these characters will long outlive all of us. So.
The thing is, and this is what's kind of awkward, especially right now with, like you said, they've revamped the Teen Titans to make it more of Damien's team. And make it that teen age.
Yeah, I love Damien running the Titans, but it's like, just make your normal fucking Titans on the book. Like, I don't need. Well, I mean, Lobo's daughter's fine, but I don't need this, right? Like,
well, yeah, and the Titans is like Nightwing, and they're now cleaning up the metal stuff,
which is cool.
Like, it works. But this is the problem is like you just said, they're coming out with this Titan show.
Yeah.
And so they're going to want, like, these characters look nothing like the show's going to have.
Well, the show also looks nothing like the characters for some of them.
But if this is like them going, oh shit, well, we might try and do something with these characters to make them more like the show.
No,
like if that's what they're doing, then that's just dumb.
You see a lot of times where they actually pull the opposite, right? They're like, Marvel's like, cool, the Avengers are the biggest things in the earth. Yeah, let's bring in, all the other characters and fuck Cap, Thor, and Iron Man, right? I mean, this is, you do see this where they almost go the opposite direction. So it makes very little sense to me to sideline, again, in the case of Dick Grayson, one of your longest running characters of all time, and then with Wally, a perennial fan favorite that was the main Flash for decades, right? That you just brought back after being gone for a number of years in easily one of the best comics of the year. Yeah. With that Rebirth one shot and one of the most emotional comics of the year. So
one most out of like the decade.
Yeah. So and again, you just wait and they'll all be back to normal. I have to believe this is intentional, that this is just, we're going to do something with these characters for a little while, and then we'll just get them back to normal, right? I don't foresee them keeping these two characters dead for past the arc. I just don't think that's the intent here.
I think what we're also losing sight of is the fact that that Psycho Pirate's mask is featured like
all over the place.
And so is this real? Is any of what's going on, is any of this real?
Right. Yeah, might not be.
And that's the thing is like, that's what I'm saying. This book seems like it's going to be more of a mind fuck in a sense. I'm going to bring it up because it's something that you were mentioning the action backstock that we had to redo. Huge run of it we had to restock. So I came across some of the John Byrne stuff, and I came across issue, I think, 592 and 593.
It's the,
which is the Big Barda and Mr. Miracle issues. Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Mr. Miracle's been a fantastic book. Tom King, Mick Gerardis, they've done just an amazing job on this book. Why it didn't win Best Mini of the Year or whatever is beyond me. But so I went and read these, going, okay, let me just check out some old story. What happens in those two issues is fucked up. Like, Barda gets captured by this apocalypse dark side lackey named Sleaze.
Yeah.
And he has her, like, under his spell for, like, 2 days, and when you come back to her after these 2 days, she's like dressed in like nothing with these things flailing around.
Bill John Byrne.
Like, okay. And then Darkseid apparently shows up at Mr. Miracle's house and is sitting there drinking like something out of a wine or out of a sniffer glass and goes, I have something to show you. Huh? And what he shows Mr. Miracle is an adult film of his wife banging somebody. Yeah. First off, Darkseid is a perv. So when you see Darkseid it's just Darkseid is a perv. So Bart has been forced to have sex with somebody against her will.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's a very famous couple issues.
Then Superman gets wrapped up in Sleaze's spell. And in the next issue, when Mr. Miracle's like, I need to go find my wife, he's like casual about like the fact that he just watched his wife having like on a sex tape, and it was Darkseid that showed it to him. Like what the fuck?
John Burt's a fucked up dude.
Wait, so so Superman is under Sleaze's control right by this time, and he's going to make now a sex tape with Barda and Superman.
Yep.
And so they're like, Bart is in this like skimpy thing, and they're on the bed and they're making out, and Mr. Miracle's like looking in the light thing going, my wife is down there with Superman. Like, not like there's nothing. There's like no like, what is she like? Yeah. There's no jealousy. There's no rage. There's no nothing. He breaks in, stops anything from there being a Superman Barda sex tape.
Yeah.
And then everybody at the end of the issue just goes their separate way.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fucked up. Yep. Like, this is seriously like next level fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And it's just brushed the fuck off.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I'm reading this and like, Heroes in Crisis is coming out, and I'm like, Barda would be here talking about the sex tape that she was forced to do. And it's weird to think that there's a sex tape of Barda floating around the DC universe. And apparently Sleaze didn't die, so that character could potentially come back.
Yeah, he probably has. Yeah, no, it's a very famous couple issues. Yeah, it's a very odd one.
How much would you charge for those issues? $3?
$105. No.
Probably $3 each.
Yeah.
Okay. Asking for somebody who asked me on Twitter, and I haven't gotten a chance to do it yet.
I have no idea. I'll take a look.
But that's I think that's what Heroes in Crisis is trying to focus on, is those darker tones, those things that kind of get brushed off because it's a comic book, right? With what we're seeing with Tom King, with what Tom King is doing to Batman or Bruce Wayne, I mean, systematically, just mentally, emotionally, he's just breaking him down. And like, all of us go through that at some point in time in our lives where we just have this mental, like, the mental anguish is just too great for us to bear on our own. So I'm really excited for the rest of it. Yeah, no, I am too. I just was thrown off by this. Yeah, well, it's very casual. It's kind of nothing. Like you said, it's thrown away, and I think it's we have to see where the story goes. Yeah, of course. But the opening with Booster Gold in the diner, Harley walks into a diner. Is there going to be is there going to be a superhero fight? Yep. And then you expect to flip to the next page and it being a fight, but it's not there yet. It doesn't happen for a few more few more pages. That was brilliant. And the fact that she doesn't like pudding. Pudding. All right. We are going to wrap up. Hopefully we didn't spoil the issue too much. You definitely check out Heroes in Crisis. And fuck Dan Didio if he hates the Titans. That's all I'm going to say about that. Go to comicconspiracypodcast.com and you can re-listen to all our episodes, as well as Geekbox, iTunes, and youtube.com/comicsconspiracy. All our episodes are up there as well. You should have a 0.75 from last week sitting there waiting for you, and the Dark Conspiracy 2 from Toby, all going to be on the feed, so go check those guys out. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net, that's our long-form question place. It's called an email. You may have heard of them. You could send us one. We read them sometimes. Patreon.com/comicconspiracy. That's where you can go to kick us a bucket true for this podcast. We always appreciate it. It does help. We do appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Get all our payments for this, for the hosting and everything.
Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can buy your digital comics from us. If you like comic books, you can buy them from there and read them on your tablet, your phone, your computer. It all runs through.
You just won't get the Batwing.
Yeah. It all runs through Comixology. And comicsconspiracy.biz, that is our regular retail storefront. If you like physical comic books, where you can get you can't get the Batwang, but you could have got the Batwang.
You may be able to get the second print of the Batwing. You don't know yet.
Yep. All our new books are up there. All our graphic novels, in stock comics, you can purchase for mail order or pick up in store. That's comicsconspiracy.biz.
And you're also trying out a pre-order system. Is that correct?
I'm just looking at it.
Okay.
We do have up there right now, though.
Yes.
This
is what I was trying to segue into.
Yes, our Walking Dead #1 store exclusive 15th anniversary variant cover. It's Rick standing in front of the shattered remains of glass in front of Comics Conspiracy in Sunnyvale, California.
Reminds me of a time when I had to clean a blood trail.
Yeah, I know. Should have had a kid throwing a Brock through to get some magic cards instead.
A Brock through?
A rock through. So, yeah, they're exclusive to the store. There's a bunch of different stores that have done these, but this is exclusive to us, so you can pick it up there. We're going to have it, if you are in store, and you're going to be here on Walking Dead Day, which is the 13th of October, so a couple weekends from now.
October's coming up.
Yep, very soon. We will have that in store. We'll have a little better pricing in store for Walking Dead Day alone. For subscribers, for in-store customers, you can come here and pick it up. Otherwise, for mail order, you can go through our website and get it there, and we'll ship it out on the 13th. And we'll ship them out till it's oversold out. We'll ship them for, you can pick them up down the road if you want. Mm-hmm. Conspiratedbrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video pull list. You can go there and check out his stuff. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, that is Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art, that is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. You can buy some artwork from her.
She's working on anything new besides that landscape that she finally hung in your house?
Yeah, no, nothing right now. Yeah.
Just the Shazam print that she did?
Yeah.
That one was fantastic.
Yeah, it turned out good. On Twitter, I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan. Sorry. On Twitter, I am Ryan Higgins Ryan.
There's a lot of Ryans in there.
Yeah, just one, just two. Sorry, just two Ryans. Ryan Higgins Ryan, that is me on Twitter. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Don't forget to listen to Geekbox Comedy Button, Manga Machinations, which I was just on, and The Infinite Binge on YouTube. Thank you guys all very much for your listening ears for this podcast, the ears that you listen with.
When it comes to the YouTube channel, please like and subscribe.
Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Smash that MF button.
I have a question. Do people like it when you post the quick tour of the wall?
Yeah. You got to do it again tomorrow. Yeah. And we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you.